This is the Rockville VOL850 100 watt stereo wall volume controller with a 12-step rotary knob. Now this volume controller is stereo and does not have a built-in amplifier, but instead supports an external amplifier. So the power from your external amp is split 50 watts to the left side and 50 watts to the right side. If you have a standard stereo receiver, you can connect one of these to the left and right channel of that receiver. If you have a multi-zone amplifier or receiver, you can connect one of these to each zone. And if you have something like an 8-channel amplifier, you can connect 4 of these, with each controller being connected to 2 channels on the amp. Now keep in mind, this controller was not designed to be used with 70 volt amplifiers or in a 70 volt system. So if you're looking for a wall controller for your 70 volt system, check out our 70 volt wall controllers. To explain how this controller works, you take a single amplifier channel, left and right, and plug it directly into the input terminals on this volume controller with normal speaker wire. Now going out of the volume controller, you go to your speakers again with speaker wire. Now if you're running all your speakers together in parallel, the final impedance should never be under 4 ohms. The power handling of the speakers can be more than the 100 watts the volume controller can take, since extra power handling doesn't affect performance, but the most important thing to note is to just make sure that your speaker's final impedance is not below 4 ohms. So depending on what speakers you are using, you could run 2 8 ohm speakers into one volume controller, or if you have 16 ohm speakers, you could run 4 of them into one volume controller. Now if you have a multi-zone amplifier, then you can go out of any zone on that amp into the VOL850 and then out of the controller into your speakers, and the end result is that you can access volume control from that room you're in without having to run to change the volume from the amp itself. Now if you think about this, you could set up multiple different volume controllers off of the different zones on that multi-zone amplifier. Now installing the VOL850 is super easy to do with the Euroblock terminals. Since this is a stereo controller, there are 2 sets of left and right terminals for input and output on those Euroblock terminals. The beautifully designed faceplate will seamlessly match your standard decor, and the standard 1 gang size will ensure that it'll perfectly fit into any electrical box in your home or office. And once you have it installed, you'll have precision volume control with the 12-step rotary knob attenuation that has an absolute off position for when you want no music coming through into that room. The VOL850 gives you the ease and convenience of controlling the music volume signal of your stereo channel amplifier or receiver from the room you are in without having to adjust anything on the amp itself. And if you do have a multi-zone amplifier, the VOL850 is the best way to get in-room volume control for all of your different zones. So if you're looking for an 100 watt stereo wall volume controller with a 12-step rotary knob, look no further than the VOL850 from Rockville.